Okay, now we're going to do something called the Align tool. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to copy it and paste it. And so now I have two, and I'm going to take the second one, and I'm going to go under Object, and I'm going to scroll down to Transform and Rotate, and I'm going to go 90 degrees. And then I'm going to scooch this over with my arrow tools, but you can also just use your arrow tool. And I'm just coming up with two shapes that are next to each other, just like that. I might even put in another shape. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to the ellipse tool, and I'm going to make a circle. Okay. If you want that circle to be perfectly circular, you can press Shift. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that right here, but I'm going to scooch this to the side. So this is me just being finicky about having an interesting design. Okay, so now I have that. Now, I also want to copy it and paste it, and we're going to do the same thing right here. Do you see how that red, that fuchsia line pops up? That is aligning that circle with the other circle that I just did. Okay, so that's what we have now. Then, I'm going to scooch this over a little bit. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to I am going to put another dot up here. This is just fun design work that I'm doing. And I'm going to bring it right here. Okay? And I'm going to do the same thing and do it right here. Okay. Alrighty. So now I'm going to take that whole thing and I'm going to group it. And then I'm going to shrink it. And I need to, I have to put down the phone for a second. All right, I had to put down the phone because I'm videotaping this myself and I needed my hand to press Shift. Okay, so this is what I have, this little guy right here. And we're going to make a pattern. So I'm going, I've already grouped it, and I'm going to highlight it, right? So I'm pressing onto it, and then I'm going to do Command C, and then Command F, and I'm going to do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. Okay, so now there are 6 copies plus the original, so there are 7 all stacked on top of each other. Now I'm going to take the last one, and which is already highlighted, and I'm going to scooch this to the side, and I'm going to bring it all the way to the other side. And this is a little tedious, so I apologize. You can also place it by hand using the arrow tool, but the problem is that unless you're doing a snap to grid, which is, I don't want to take you too far down the rabbit hole, unless you're working on a perfect grid, if you place it with the arrow tool, you're probably not going to place it perfectly perpendicular. You know, it won't be in line. Okay, so I'm just doing that by hand, and I'm going to bring it over a little bit. I'm eyeballing this. Okay, now I've got 6 over here, I've got 1 over here, and I'm going to click here and keep my hand down and capture all of those. So that's what I have now. Now, this is sort of a magical thing. I'm going to come over here, and do you see this? It says Align, and there are different options here. I'm going to go down to the Distribute Options, and this side is going to distribute it horizontally, and this is going to distribute it vertically. And this is the one that's going to center the first object with the last object. These are going to go to the side and to the side. That doesn't have any relevance to you right now until you start to play. Just press this one for now. That's a good place to start. So I'm going to zoom back out, and I'm going to press that button, and look what happens. Look at that. Now, it looks a little tight to me. Do you see how there's some overlapping? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Command Z, and that, oops, Command Z. So I just backed it up. And instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away one of these. Okay, so now I have 5 over here and 1 over here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I just felt like it was too congested, and we don't need that. So I'm going to go back over here Press those three dots to expand the template, menu bar, and I'm going to just press this one, and let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's much better. Okay. And so now we have that. Now, what I can do is I can click onto this, and I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to go to Object and Group. Okay. And then I'm going to press Command C and Command F, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 there, and I'm going to take the last one. So basically we're doing the same thing, but we're doing it in the opposite direction. What's really remarkable about doing this project, and it may not seem remarkable now, is that you take one resource object and you have created a silhouette from that object, so that object is uniquely yours. And then you slice and dice it, and that slicing is also uniquely yours. And then what you can do is you can make this pattern that is very, very precise, but it comes from a very organic place. So it's very interesting. It's a very interesting combo between the handwork and then the more mechanical offerings that the computer has. All right, then I'm going to click over the whole thing, and do you see how it's clicking onto my square? So I'm going to get rid of this square for now, okay? And I'm just going to slide it out of the way. So then I'm going to click over the whole thing. So the 5 at the top, and then the 1 at the bottom, or I think there are 4 up here and 1 at the bottom. And we're going to go back to align, but this time we're not going to do horizontal, we're going to do vertical. So I'm going to press this one this time. 1, 2, 3. Look at that, we've made a pattern. And there you go. So for that last, you have to do 4 compositions. The first one's just your plain old object. The second one is emphasis on the positive space. The third one is an emphasis on the negative space. And the fourth one has to be a balance between positive and negative. Well, guess what this is? This is a balance between positive and negative. So you could do a random pattern where you have floating objects and there's half of it is white space, half of it is black space. Or you could do a pattern like this over the whole surface. You have some choices there. Okay, that's it.